Greetings and blessings, divine warriors of the light. Yeah, thank you for being here today. Today I'm in the backcountry of Bella Coola, BC, on New Hawk Nation, and I'm basking in Mother Nature's magical essence. In today's video, we will be discussing, why are you drawn to the negative ego? Comments below. So you know the destruction of negative ego, either potential or realized in your own reality, in your own creation, and in your own physical world. At this time in your world, compounded. The problem of the destructiveness and the negativity that can bring is compounded because of the uniqueness in which you currently live. And several factors make this negative ego more potently destructive and even more potently damaging than has ever existed in the past. And although one could argue, what is a total damage? Well, can total damage, aren't they the same? But we would suggest that totalness comes much more incisively and decisively, can happen much more distortedly now due to several factors that are part of your world now. So firstly, all due to this very monumental decade we're in right now, right? Very exciting times to be in, right? You're engaged in it right now. You know, the shifting of paradigms and shifting of dimensions to the changing of patterns of causation, you know, due to the relinquishing of the power of the past that's been holding you for so long, and the influence of the future that's scary at a time of information explosion and technological explosion, at a time your global and your world are no longer so big anymore, they're quite small, or it is, you're indeed truly existing in a global community now, where actions and reactions and events across the globe, right, can no longer be isolated. And indeed in a global community right now, where you have problems that seem to be unsolvable, that impact you, whether developed or underdeveloped, whether as a person or as a nation. You see, these conditions in this monumental decade we're in right now, where you're deciding whether to manifest, what are you manifesting, right? Are you manifesting a future? Right, a dream future, or a nightmare future, or a mediocracy future that is perhaps worse than either two options, right? Is a time of what that does is produce an increased amount of uncertainty and anxiety, about the present, and unsure about the future, fear of the future, anxiety of the future, and negative ego seduces you, hey, by offering you surety, by offering you security, right? Therefore, more people find themselves drawn to the negative ego by the very insecurity and unsure of their reality, compared to the surety and certainty that the negative ego promises. But the negative ego never delivers, mind you, but the negative ego does promise, lies. Secondly, society, particularly in your Western world and in many parts of the world, and in a society that is demanding upward mobility with nowhere to go, right? Your parents, in that sensing, could listen to their parents, they could listen to their grandparents, and be told to go to school and get an education, and you will get a better job or a better career, and you will get more pay, more benefits, and you will be able to get that house in the suburbs, or get that property, or get the cars you want, and maybe those color TVs and all those beautiful things you want in your house, and you will be able to do all that. But many in the generation now who turn to their parents, right, there is no room to go now. There is no room that there used to be 10, 20, or 30 years ago. There will be even less room in the next 10 years. But the demand for upward mobility is much, there and even more there than it was before. That demand for upward mobility and nowhere to go results in a squeeze sideways, which is called performance, which is called perfectionist or perfection, right? I may not be able to move upward in my mobility, but I'll be able to do it more perfectly than anyone else ever has done it. I'll be able to perform better than anyone has ever performed before. And since I can't go up, I'll go out. Not down and deep, but I'll go out and try to do what I do perfectly and perform and perform and be perfect and perform and be perfect and perform and be perfect than anybody else. That is what produces the yuppie mentality, whether one is a yuppie or not, in that sensing that you have to hold on to 2 jobs, you have to belong to 3 clubs, you have to have 4 sporting activities, you have to go to this self-improvement classes in the morning, self-improvement classes in the afternoon, in the evening. You have to spend your weekends doing some self-improvement, recreation, yoga and sports or something. Oh boy, to be perfect and to perform and have perfect kids who start school at age 2 or age 1, right? And speak multiple foreign languages by the age of 4. They got to be perfect, 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 perfect. You see, your ego promises perfection. Your ego promises that you will perform better than anyone else, even if you don't know how. So therefore, it draws people more and more. They can't go up, and they are not able to perform, and they are not able to be perfect, therefore residing in the negative ego more clearly and more fully than ever before. Thirdly, along with this information of technological explosion comes the idea that you can't possibly think and feel. Too much to think about. There's too much to feel about. Things are happening too quickly. There's too much. Too much is going on. But the decisions, they have to be made without thinking, and they have to be made without feeling. You have to follow the rules, obey. Right? You have to do it the right way. You can't dissent. You can't disagree. You have to go along with it. There's no time. Too much information, too much technology. When the explosion of information and technology, right, gives you more to think about and more to feel about, society tells you you're not to bother doing so, not to bother doing it at all. Don't think and feel. No, keep going. Even society censors you and blocks you if you're a critical thinker. I've been blocked many, many times. Society calls you a conspiracy theorist or overreactive, or society calls what you post misinformation. Society constantly suppresses creative, critical thinking. How many times have you been blocked? Right? Comments below. You must think like the masses. This makes it difficult to be unique and share your authentic self in a world that wants to shut you up. How many can relate to that? Wants to treat you like sheep, not thinking and not feeling. Also, with the technology, we no longer need to think, or, for technology will do it all for you. Math, writing, etc. How can we think and feel, when technology will do it for us? This becomes fuel, and this becomes raw, explosive, flammable fuel for the negative ego. Exponentially increase and take hold of unhealthy anger and self-pity and guilt and doubt and addictions and anxiety and pain, etc. Therefore, society discourages you from critical thinking and feeling at a time when thinking and feeling are perhaps the most important thing that you can possibly do right now. Society discourages that. So think about these 3 points that I said today and see how you were drawn in by the negative ego if you relate to any of them. Thank you for listening to me today. This is Chris Parr, Syrian Lemurian Wisdoms and Teachings. Yeah.